The invisible transformation. Most people approach 16 to 8 fasting as a test of willpower. They see it as a battle against the clock, a simple way to restrict calories by cutting out a morning meal. But if you only look at the clock, you're missing the most beautiful part of the story. Underneath the surface of that initial hunger, your biology is performing a silent, high-stakes transformation. Every time you push past that 12th hour without food, your body undergoes 3 massive metabolic shifts. These aren't just minor adjustments. They are fundamental rewires of how your cells produce energy, how your hormones communicate, and how your body repairs itself. Today, we're going to go beyond the how-to and look at the why. We're going to walk through the 16-hour window, hour by hour, to see exactly how you transition from a sugar burner to a resilient, fat-burning engine. We are going to look at the 2026 data on mitochondrial health and why the timing of your fast might be more important than the fast itself. If you've read my book, Intermittent Fasting for Beginners Over 50, you know the foundation of this protocol. Today, we're going to bring that science to life in a way that changes how you look at your morning coffee forever. The 16-hour magic number and the 4-hour milestones. Why 16 to 8? Why not 12 or 14? In the world of metabolic health, 16 hours is often called the magic number. It's the point where the effort of fasting meets the maximum biological reward for most people. To understand why, we have to look at the 4-hour milestones of a fast. Think of your body's energy like your finances. You have cash on hand. That's the glucose from your last meal. You have a checking account. That's glycogen, stored in your liver and muscles. And you have a savings account. That's your body fat. Hours 0 to 4. This is the fed state. Your body is busy spending cash. Insulin is high. And your system is focused on storage and growth. Your body is processing the proteins, fats, and carbs from your dinner. Hours 4 to 8. You enter the early fasted state. The cash is gone. Your body turns to the checking account, the glycogen. This is where the first wave of hunger usually hits. Your brain is signaling for more cash because it's used to a constant supply. Hours 8 to 12. This is the transition zone. Your liver glycogen is dipping low. Your body is starting to look at the savings account, but it hasn't quite committed to opening the vault yet. This is where most people quit. They feel a dip in energy, a growl in the stomach, and they reach for a snack. But if you stop at hour 12, you are standing on the doorstep of the first major shift without ever walking through the door. The metabolic switch, the glycogen bridge. Between hours 12 and 14, you hit the metabolic switch. This is the first major shift. A 2025 review in Frontiers in Nutrition describes this as the moment hepatic glycogen reserves become depleted enough to force a change in fuel source. Your body realizes the checking account is running low. To protect your brain's energy supply, it begins to accelerate a process called lipolysis, the mobilization of fat from your adipose tissue. But here is the fascinating part. Your liver doesn't just send raw fat to the brain. It takes those fatty acids and converts them into ketones. Specifically, it produces beta-hydroxybutyrate, or BHB. In my book, Keto Diet Book 101, I describe ketones as a superfuel. They aren't just a backup plan. They are a cleaner, more efficient energy source for your brain and heart. When you hit hour 14, you aren't just hungry. You are becoming metabolically flexible. You are teaching your body, perhaps for the first time in years, how to access its savings account. This is the bridge from being a sugar burner to a fat burner. For those of us over 50, this switch is the key to unlocking energy levels we haven't felt since our 30s. It's the difference between feeling tired and wired and feeling calm and focused. The hormonal reset. The insulin AMPK tug of war. As the metabolic switch flips, A second, deeper shift occurs: the hormonal reset. This is where the long-term health benefits of 16 to 8 truly reside. Insulin is the storage hormone. As long as it's present in your blood, the door to your fat cells is effectively locked. You cannot burn fat in a high insulin environment. By hour 14 of your fast, insulin levels drop to their lowest baseline. The lock is finally removed. Simultaneously, your body activates a master regulator called AMPK. Think of AMPK as your cell's fuel gauge, or a master metabolic sensor. When it senses that energy is low, it flips a switch that tells your cells to stop building new things and start burning old ones. It increases fat oxidation and more. Importantly, it improves insulin sensitivity. This is critical. As we age, our cells often become deaf to insulin, a condition called insulin resistance that leads to weight gain, brain fog, and systemic inflammation. In intermittent fasting for beginners over 50, I explain that 16 to 8 isn't just about weight. It's about giving your hormones the quiet time they need to regain their hearing. It's a daily reset for your metabolic health that prevents the middle-age spread and protects your cardiovascular system. The cellular cleanup, autophagy, and the 2026 science. The final shift is the most profound, and it usually begins to peak right around that 16th hour. Autophagy. The word literally means self-eating. But don't let that alarm you. It is a highly regulated, incredibly sophisticated cleanup process. Your body identifies old, misfolded proteins and damaged mitochondria, the exhausted parts of your cells, and recycles them into brand new components. Recent data from 2025 and 2026 suggests that this isn't just about cleaning, it's about upgrading. Fasting-induced autophagy triggers mitochondrial biogenesis, the creation of new, healthy powerhouses. This is why, after the initial hunger of hour 12 passes, many people feel a second wind of mental clarity at hour 15 or 16. You aren't just losing weight. You are literally refreshing your cellular machinery. Think of it like this. If you never turned off your car's engine, you could never change the oil or replace the spark plugs. Fasting is the engine-off time that allows for the deep maintenance that keeps you running for the long haul. This is the bridge between dieting and the optimal life. You came for the fat loss, but you stayed for the cellular resilience. You stayed because you realized you feel better at hour 16 than you did at hour 2. You realized that the hunger you felt at hour 10 wasn't a signal of starvation, but the sound of your body's cleaning crew finally clocking in for work. Practical application, the optimal protocol. So, how do you navigate these shifts without the struggle? How do you make 16 to 8 a permanent part of your optimal life? First, respect the transition. If you're coming from a lifetime of all-day grazing, don't jump to 16 hours tomorrow. Start with 12 and add 30 minutes every few days. Give your enzymes and your gut microbiome time to catch up to the new fuel source. Second, your break-fast meal is your most important decision of the day. If you break your fast with high sugar or processed carbs, you spike insulin so violently that you lose the afterburn effect of the hormonal reset. You want to break your fast with high-quality protein and healthy fats to keep that metabolic switch in the on position for as long as possible. And finally, remember that this is a journey of self-discovery. You are learning the language of your own body. If you want the specific blueprints, the meal timing charts, the electrolyte protocols, and the advice tailored for those of us over 50, I've put everything I know into my books. Intermittent Fasting for Beginners over 50 is your guide for the when and the how. Keto Diet. Book 101 is your guide for the what, the fuel that makes this whole process feel like second nature. You can find links to both in the description below. I'm Jordan Blake, and this is the Optimal Life Project. I'll see you in the next video.